Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Flower Aggregate. We're so happy to see you here. My name is Jessica Balnaves. We are at Flower Aggregate, which is a flower wholesaler specializing in regional and pesticide-free flowers, mainly synthetic pesticide-free flowers.
When you say regional,
So I call regional the East Coast.
Okay.
So the Eastern Seaboard. I haven't really gone down much further than Pennsylvania. I think I'm going to dabble a little bit in Maryland this winter, but the Eastern Seaboard.
that's awesome. And
Yeah.
we're in Brooklyn.
We're in Brooklyn.
And this space opened when?
We opened here April 1st of this year.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So yes, I'd love a tour and love you
Yeah.
to show everybody all the features that are here, and then we'll sit down and do a little interview.
Great, come on in.
Okay, thanks, Jessica.
A really important part of Flower Aggregate is our community-based programs. So we have something called community vessels where people take and leave vessels for free. We also have a program called Community Moss where we work with a sustainable breakdown company so people can come and take moss for their events. No need to buy again. This can be reused multiple times.
Oh my goodness. That is so brilliant. And so this is take what you need, return and replenish, please. So it actually, you'll take back previously used moss.
Yes, we'll take back previously used moss and we'll use it until it's not usable anymore, and then it'll go in the compost or it'll go on someone's field.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. We have a big dried flower section, which we're bulking up right now because we're coming close to winter.
And so does this represent a number of growers?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. This is a mixed all across the region, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Yeah. We also have rentable studio space for designers that don't have a big enough space or need to use a space here. So you can go
Can I
in
peek
and look
in?
at the studio. Yeah.
So is it more for production, or do people actually teach workshops in here?
It's for production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a great size.
It's about 300 square feet.
Do you have to be like a member of Flower Aggregate to use the facilities, or?
Nope, there's a rental fee on it. We keep it pretty low. We want to make it accessible for everybody. And then usually we expect they'll buy some flowers from Flower Aggregate, but
You
we
would
don't
think.
we don't require that they need to buy all of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the heart of the whole place.
We also rent this space out for production design as well because it is really popular, the space rentals. We've had 3 different design studios in here doing weddings at once.
Oh, so people just set up tables over here?
Yep,
and, yeah.
we'll set up tables here and they can rent this out. The studio will be rented. I've rented this table out. So we'll let anybody pop up where they need to.
I mean, considering how rare space for something like this is.
Yeah.
You're trying to accommodate as many people as possible.
As many people, and they love being here too because it's a really supportive, nurturing environment. And also they say it takes away some of their anxiety about what they need to buy for their event because the cooler is here for them. So they can buy slowly.
Yes. Oh, I love it. In other words, not that anxiety driven over ordering problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to stay on budget here at Flower Aggregate. Yeah. We have our lounge, which we welcome anyone to come in. We have free Wi-Fi. And the crown jewel is our cooler.
Yes, it's amazing. You just plopped it down here inside this warehouse.
We did.
Wow.
It's 15 by 15 on the square footage, and it's a little under 10 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go on in and people will hear the fan, and that's okay. Because we need you to give us a tour.
Okay, come on in.
I was just in here with one of your customers, and I was saying how abundant it looks, considering it's the 6th of November.
Considering it's the 6th of November, that is what's really beneficial of having a wide region. If we can go from southern Pennsylvania all the way up to northern Vermont, we're going to have an extended season. There is something to be said of climate change, of we're just not getting hard frosts as early as we used to. This is the last week of dahlias, most likely. But we are in...
But you've got some.
Yep. And we are in full mum production, and it has been really fun seeing how excited people are to buy the mums. As you can see, this is the sold shelf, so this is what people have put aside that they're going to come pick up for their events, and it's mainly the mums. That's what.
My goodness, yeah. The fall foliages are so appealing, and the grasses and some of the smaller accent flower, like the straw flower.
The straw flower is beautiful.
The marigolds.
This white marigold has been very popular this year. I've sold almost every bunch that has come in. Very
That's
popular
amazing.
flower. People are excited to see that. I love the fall foliage. This is forsythia. So in the spring, the farmer has the ability to make some money off of the yellow flower, and now in the fall, it's phenomenally gorgeous. This is Amsonia. This is smoke bush. So there's a second life to all those plants, which is really great in the fall. These ornamental peppers make phenomenal arrangements. They last a really long time. They've been very popular as well.
Kind of a quirky category, but that's what people expect of you.
Yes.
Is the the uncommon, the non-basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're interested in having all those little special treats for people.
Exactly. People are really excited to be introduced to flowers that they've never seen before. Flowers that make them excited. So people like to come in here and kind of search out the jewels, and the regulars know that. So you'll see the regulars come in and they know how to eye and look. And somebody who's new, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I didn't even see that in there." So you kind of have to develop a skill,
A shopping skill.
A shopping skill, yeah. I mean, this is a chrysanthemum I've never seen before. It's so neat, so crazy.
Yes, it almost looks like one of those alliums, that quirky allium that
Yes.
has the feathery petals.
Yep.
I love it. I saw that, and you showed me an arrangement that you made to trial it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we'll get a shot of that.
If there's a new flower that I haven't experienced before, I like to put it in a vase and watch its life. Yeah. That's
Love
really
it.
fun. Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention while we're in here? Oh, by the way, I so love this particular Sheffield
Yeah.
aster. So beautiful. One of my favorites. And lilies. Who's growing the lilies for you?
Six Duchess.
I wondered about that.
Grew the lilies. Yep. Yep.
Good
I'm
flowers, friends.
I'm really excited to watch and see what we come up with this winter, what the farmers are growing. And every year, I think the farmers are going to get better and better at winter crops. So we're going to have a full season. Yeah.
Well, they have the confidence now to trial things because you're providing them this channel to sell through. So
I love that. Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah. I'm so happy to keep our regional economy strong. Like, we're all helping each other, and we all rise together.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Oh, I can't believe you have cafe au laits. Oh my goodness.
And surprisingly, this Sweet Annie, the Artemisia, it's really popular. People love it.
Even though it's kind of going sort of that more muted color palette.
Even
Yeah.
though it looks like it could be a weed
or
it's-
dry. Yeah.
or dry, it's a great filler. People really like it, and it smells really good. And so that was one of the items that surprised me this year, is how well that sold.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah. I see a lot that I love.
This is great to see the snapdragons come back, because they, went down a bit when it got hot. They don't like the heat. We saw them in the spring, and it's great to see them again in the fall.
I love it. Yeah, I'm really wowed.
Kermit
I'm
chrysanthemum.
wowed by all your dahlias. Okay, thanks. This is so great. We can finally sit down in your
Yes.
salon. Your
in our lounge.
When you furnished this place, where did you get these awesome, colorful sofas?
I'm glad you like them. Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my goodness.
Everything is a reuse. I didn't purchase anything new. None of the furniture.
I just saw an amazing couch on the sidewalk on West 10th between 50th and 51st.
Yeah.
I should have grabbed it for you.
You should have.
I would have needed a truck.
My most proud reuse item I have is the sink in the bathroom. It's from 1936. It's cast iron. It was made in Boston, and it exemplifies the, part of our sustainability mission is we don't need to make brand new things.
Right.
We can reuse things and share, and
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to pepper you with questions about Flower Aggregate. Congratulations that you're not even 1 year old yet. But I know you had a little bit of a start in 2024.
We did, yes.
So Jessica, tell us kind of that origin story and then bring us along to your current, elevator pitch of how you describe the business.
Yeah. I think the business started a few years back when I was working on a flower farm in the Catskills. And I was meeting all these amazing flower farmers up there, but those flowers were not making it into New York City. Maybe the small amount that we were putting in our truck was making it in, but there were so many more. And I just started thinking, how do we get these into New York City? And so we started Flower Aggregate last year just as a once-a-day pop-up, proof of concept.
Wow.
I didn't know if people wanted this.
Wow.
So we got a great space at Honey's, which it's a bar in Bushwick. They're amazing community members. They're lovely, lovely people. And we popped up once a week, Thursday mornings for 6 months. And it was an overwhelming yes.
Wow.
We want this.
Wow.
It was so exciting. People were over the moon. And everything spread word of mouth. We didn't do any marketing.
Well, I'm just going to ask you, did you just open an Instagram account and start saying, what was your hashtag that got people in?
Yeah. So luckily, I have been in the floral design and agriculture world for about 10 years. So I'm established enough in the community that people know me and trust me. And so when I said I'm opening this wholesale flower, they showed up to see what was going on.
Wow.
They found out that they liked it. And then the floral design community is very tight-knit, and we know each other, and we support each other, and we talk to each other. So the word spread very quickly. The word has actually spread across the country. I have people in Florida, South Carolina. I shipped somebody flowers to Vermont this summer.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I think that as I was saying earlier, it's been discussed for years.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
remember having conversations with early Slow Flowers members in Brooklyn in 2012, 2013, with the idea that, we should create some kind of concept that florists in Brooklyn and New York could have a place to shop for flowers from whatever, Hudson Valley, Connecticut. But I think there's a perfect reason why it happened now. First of all, that you obviously have, shall we say, you're not averse to risk, but you had an idea and you trialed it and got proof of concept first. It also seems that both the buyers and sellers are ready for this, and so you're the matchmaker. So how did the pop-up concept lead you to this? Did you know after that first 6 months it's time to find a permanent space?
It was partly, yes, I wanted to see this business develop into reality because I knew they wanted it. So I thought now's the time. And it was also personal because I'm about to be 40. Freelancing is great, but it's hard on your body. It's hard on your mentality.
We do
and
that
I
just,
a lot, I just knew that it wasn't long into the future until I couldn't freelance anymore. But I needed to be involved with flowers. I also had tried my stint at farming, and farming wasn't for me either. So I needed to figure out a way that I could still be involved in flowers. I have a deep connection to the farmers in our region, deep connection to the land. I want the floral designers to have healthy products. And it's really special to me that we get to all work together to offer this to each other. Yeah, we got it.
So after the 6-month pop-up, which was in 2024,
yes.
How did you decide what to do next? Was it you were still freelancing and doing other gigs,
yeah,
right?
I still had my own floral design studio. I was freelancing and doing my own weddings all last year as we were also doing the 1 day a week pop-up. So how we decided to open up this space and be here 5 to 7 days a week, 11 months out of the year, was both personal and the demand was there.
Yeah.
So people were just so excited, and I knew they wanted it after that year, and I was ready to take that leap. And then the personal part is that I needed my next step in flowers. I was done freelancing. I love freelancing and I love weddings and seeing the magic come, but my body couldn't take it anymore. So I still needed to be involved with flowers, and I have the background and the knowledge to make this happen.
Yeah.
And so why not?
You saw, obviously, the demand was there.
Yeah.
And the pain point of people wanted to have local flowers.
Right.
But they were having to drive
Right.
out to the country to pick them up. Or I don't know, how were people getting local flowers?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I've been in floral design and agriculture for the past 10 years, and local flowers have always been central to my practice, but you're going all over the place to find them. There was no one centralized location to go. And I knew the flower farmers didn't want to come into New York City. The majority of them are not interested. The majority of them are women, they're mothers. Sometimes it's their second job, or sometimes they're the only people on the land
Right.
and they can't come in. Also, maybe they have a small car, and so how are they going to get me $3,000 worth of flowers that are growing on their land? So that was the clinch of how do we make this happen, was I needed to set up a supply chain.
You did. You had
Yeah.
to become a transportation
I did.
hub in
Yes.
a way.
Yeah.
The fact that you could troubleshoot and figure that out, I think that's what prevented anyone from doing this prior.
It's expensive.
Okay.
It's expensive. It's scary, because what happens when your driver is in Connecticut and they blow a tire?
Yeah.
What happens when your driver has a kidney issue and ends up in the hospital and can't go pick up, which have all happened
I'm
this
like,
year.
okay, these sound very specific.
So it's being able to, in the moment, be willing to figure out what's my solution.
Yeah.
I have to get these flowers here. And yeah, you got to stay on your toes for sure. I have to say the collectives and the cooperatives forming have also been very substantial to making this possible, because I can go to one spot for the Connecticut Flower Collective. They're sourcing from 30 to 35 different farms, and I can have access to the quantity that we need. And that's happening in New Jersey, that's happening in upstate New York, that's happening in Philadelphia, and that's happening in Connecticut.
I love that these collectives, and I knew that the Connecticut Flower Collective was selling, or their product was here, because we went and did an event there
Yes.
right before we came here
Yeah.
in June. It's so interesting because one could look at that scenario and say, aren't you their competition?
Yes, absolutely.
How did this lovely harmony happen?
Yeah. I think because I've been in this industry so long, there has been a trust that has been built. People have known me for a while, or they know people that know me.
Yeah, it's very relational then.
Yeah, it's very relational. I also can talk the language. So when I show up and I give them this proposal of what I want to do, and the whole mission-driven sustainability and the reason why I'm looking to get these flowers in here, they see somebody that they can relate to and that they, again, trust. So I think that was a really easy way to bridge that divide. Also, they are all desperate to get to the New York City market, but again, nobody wants to come to New York City. So I think that was a big advantage for them, that I was willing to go get the flowers and bring them here.
Wow. And you're giving them just another channel for sales on top of their own,
Right.
super local region in New Jersey or Connecticut.
Yeah, and there are designers who drive to them.
Yeah.
There absolutely are.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's great, and I think the more local flowers there are, the better. Some of the cooperatives would delay me having access to the flowers to give the floral designers or the VIP designers first pick.
Yeah.
Because I get it. I have a little bit more buying power than somebody who's just buying for one wedding. So
Right.
I totally understand
Right.
that. But also, that flower is still available. It's just here instead.
Right. And the customers that are your regulars,
Yeah.
who are New York, Brooklyn, Queens based, they're not going out to the suburbs to get their flowers.
They're busy.
You're providing a service.
They are booked. They are busy. They have lives. It's
Yeah.
expensive for them to leave the city. Their time is expensive. So it's a huge service that we're offering to them. Also because maybe they have time to go to one collective, but we're sourcing, I think, close to 100 farms. I haven't done a full count.
That's exciting.
But between all the collectives, and then I do have individual relationships with 10 to 15 farms, it's between 50 and 100.
Yeah.
Farms.
Well, at the peak of summer, I'm sure.
At the peak of summer, yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of coordination. It's a lot of talking to a lot of different people. It's a job.
So your job then was to figure out that big puzzle, find a building,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure that wasn't easy, and get this cooler installed and, open
Yeah.
your doors on April 1st.
Yeah. So we found this building and I signed the lease on February 1st.
Okay.
So and then they gave us 2 months to open, basically. They're, the people that own this building are very generous and they're very kind and they're a family run business. So they're very supportive of me, which has been,
It's amazing.
which is something that I always look for in New York City. I don't like to rent from management companies. I like to rent from people.
Families, yeah.
Families. And I found that. Yeah.
What had been in this space prior?
Actually, 10 years ago, a floral designer was here,
No
which
way.
is kind of funny. The people in the block, we're all friendly with each other. They like to tell me who used to be here. But right before me, it was like paper cups and plastic bags. It was a storage warehouse, which
Yeah.
a lot of these warehouses in this block are storage warehouses.
Yeah, because they're serving the metro area
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
greater New York.
Yeah.
So you found the space, and when you said we, do you want to talk a little bit about who the we was and
Yeah, of
how
course.
that's all happening now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Flower Aggregate was founded with my co-founder, Annie Quick. She is an urban farmer and grows awesome flowers. So the idea of working together was kind of born of like, well, you can supply flowers directly to Flower Aggregate. And Annie is a very busy woman, and that sounded like a beautiful idea for her. So it was actually like a microcosm of what everybody else was feeling too, is that they just needed somebody to sell their flowers.
They want to grow
They want to grow.
or design or whatever.
Yeah,
And
and they need someone to sell. So that was great. And Annie's an incredibly talented designer, and so she did all of our logos and the website and
Oh, it's
everything
wonderful.
like that. Yeah,
I loved meeting her
Yeah.
when I was here at the end of June for our book event. But she's sort of taking a step back then. You're the
Yeah.
primary
Yeah.
owner-operator now.
yeah. Annie helped us get up off of our feet and helped us open this beautiful space. And she's doing her very busy life.
You would call her founder emeritus or
She
something.
is always, and I'm excited. We're gonna hopefully keep carrying her flowers, so
Right.
that will live on.
And that's here in Brooklyn, or?
Yeah, she has a micro mini farm in Brooklyn.
I remember her telling me that.
Yeah,
That's
she
great.
grows incredible aromaris.
Wow.
Yeah, and she actually has this perennial like butter Turkish scabiosa that's really fabulous too. I can't wait to get again next year. Yeah.
I love it. So how many routes are you running to pick up flowers and bring them into Brooklyn? And,
Yeah.
And do you rent a truck or do you own a truck? I mean, that's just mind-boggling to think about.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling to think about, and I keep it all kind of stored in my head, crazy enough. I have some farms that deliver, which is great. I
Yeah.
have some farms that work with a separate distribution company, Myers Produce, and they deliver through them. And then I have a driver, and he has a network of vehicles and drivers that he will send out to
Wow.
wherever I need to go.
That's crazy.
So some of the collectives, the pickup is the same time, same day. So I need 2 cars on the road.
Right.
Or a couple weeks ago, there was a huge demand for dahlias, and I was able to, in the same day, send out 1 vehicle after the other because we needed more dahlias.
You told me that, and you went to a vendor or a grower in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So the farmer just cold called me, and I picked up, and he was like, hey, I've got an acre under dahlias. They're gorgeous. I want to sell them to you. And it was the time when everyone had a bumper crop of dahlias. And so I said, talk to me about the price.
Yeah.
And he offered a very, very competitive price. I had to go 3.5 hours to southern Pennsylvania to get them, which I'm willing to do.
But when you
That's
look at supply,
part of my service.
yeah, supply and demand, that the demand was bigger than the supply right then.
Absolutely.
Wow.
No question about it. It also, brings people in. Dahlias are going to bring anybody in. That's everybody's biggest crop, from farmer to designer. Everyone wants dahlias. Dahlias are going to get them in the door, but then they're going to see the tassel flower, and they're going to see the white swan marigolds, and they're going to see the flowers that they've never seen before, and they're going to get really excited, and they're going to buy all that other stuff with the dahlias, and then they're going to come back next week and next week and next week because they know they can get awesome stuff here. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. By the way, are people here on consignment, or are you buying inventory and then, which is another risk right there? I'm just curious how you have it set up.
Yeah. So it's a traditional wholesaler
Okay.
where I buy it in, I put a markup on it, and then people come and buy it. Waste keeps me up at night. But luckily our waste is actually not that high. We're actually doing okay. It's why I invested in such an incredible cooler. And it's also a testament to the flowers, how long they last.
How fresh they are.
How fresh they are, how healthy they are. If they're grown in good soil, by good hands, they are going to last so much longer. I say it's a different product.
It's so interesting because I find that when I speak to just, the consumer, different groups at flower shows or whatever, that whole question about, should I use flower food and how long will this flower last? That's all off the table when you're working with local flowers, right?
Clean water. I tell people, clean water, clean vessel. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. No, I think you just articulated the best argument for local flowers.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have these arrangements here that you showed me a few that were 2 weeks old, and
these are week old dahlias. These came in Friday last week. This celosia came
amazing.
in, I think, 2 weeks ago.
So this gives the newbie who doesn't really understand what local flowers are, you can illustrate and educate them when they're here.
Oh, and some that are very doubtful of me, I will put a bouquet of week-old dahlias in their hands, and I'll say, go experience this.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had them come back, and they'll say, Jessica, it's been 3 weeks. They're still alive in my cooler.
Yeah, let the flowers sell themselves.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely sell themselves.
Well, you created a couple of these important standards, I guess. One being that you're regional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A larger region, but everything on the East Coast is so densely, the mass population is so dense that you have access to, as you said, up to 100 farms, and there'll be more, I'm sure.
There are thousands out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them all.
Maybe that's why you need a second cooler down the road. But the chemical free is part of your branding.
Yeah,
and
the synthetic free. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth. How did you describe that?
So I describe synthetic as anything that's petrochemical based, anything, that has these bad origins and poison the land and the people around it. The word pesticide, and this is something I'm always interested in learning. I'm always interested in what facts make me make more better decisions.
Right.
And so when I started this business and I said pesticide free, I was really referring to those synthetic pesticides. But as I've learned more, especially with Cornell Cooperative Extension, they've had some incredible classes that I've been able to take. What I've learned is a pesticide could be a hawk that sits on your fence and eats the vole.
Yes.
That swoops down.
There could be good pests that consume the bad pests.
Exactly.
And that's natural.
Yes.
I see.
So, but there's also biological pesticides, your organic pesticides, which is something that the flower farmers, not all of them, but some of them are using. So I now have research to do. I want to understand a little bit more, what is a biological pesticide, because we know synthetic chemicals are not good.
Right.
But what is a biological pesticide?
It's almost like you have to come up with your hierarchy of approved or treatments that you're comfortable with.
Right. And what I take this back to is also transparency.
Yeah.
I want everyone to understand what's going on if they're interested in it. Sorry.
Look who's trying to get on the camera here.
had to have a cameo.
Oh, Nisha will love it. My social media manager has 4 cats.
Oh, good.
Nisha will be so thrilled.
But so, for example, there is
winter production is in greenhouses.
Right.
Greenhouses are very stressful on plants. A more stressed out plant is going to have a higher risk of pest pressure.
Yeah.
So what are these greenhouses doing? I'm interested to learn what they're doing, but we also have this mission of supplying regional flowers, and now we're on a scale. Well, what's better? An international flower that has its carbon footprint that we know is being sprayed with 200 plus crazy synthetic pesticides versus this greenhouse that we have here. What IPM methods are they doing?
Yeah.
Is it organic? You know, and then having transparency around that.
I couldn't agree more. I think you've hit the nail on the head. There are crops that do need some inputs
Yeah.
to be viable on the
Yeah.
marketplace.
Yes.
I see that in the Seattle, Portland area with the greenhouse growers.
Mhm.
They're using as many sustainable methods as possible, but sometimes you just get an infestation and you have to make some tough
Yeah.
decisions. But if you communicate that to people, then they can make the decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also learn, I've talked to one farmer who she says she just gives up on that plant. That plant just comes out of her land. It's
Yeah.
done. It's over. I have another farmer who says, well, when I see the bug, I get my organic pesticide and I spray it. So
I love those stories.
yeah, and I
It's a
think
way to
there's
illustrate
and I
that.
think there's space for all of that as long as we're not being overly detrimental to
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
But, you know, for example, neem is a pesticide that a lot of people use. It's sold in the hardware store. It's organic, but it'll kill a ladybug. So ladybugs don't come out at night. If you spray it at night, it's not going to kill the ladybugs. So are people doing it the right way? Is the
Oh,
right
you have to be-
application being used?
You have
Is-
so many hats. You have to become a scientist now.
And this is why that it's really great that Cornell Cooperative Extension has started to get involved. They just recently have started delving into the flower community because
That's a great partner for you to have.
they're they're great. I'm actually doing a panel with them this upcoming winter because I think a lot of flower farmers out there don't really understand what use there is for them. So it's really great to have this
That's
partner
great.
available.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you are a partner because you maybe can do some of that research and pass it on to your customers.
Oh yeah, I mean I have long talks with my farmers about everything from I have an issue with an employee to what should I grow next year or what didn't work, you know, should I expand my land? You know, we have conversations all the time. I'm trying to get them to sell me their cover crops. I want them to plant more cover crop and I'll buy the vetch, I'll buy the clover, I'll buy the oats. Like I want to buy their cover crops.
Okay, I see that there's a visual appeal, especially certain crops that are quite lovely,
Yeah.
textural and
Yeah.
filler, but aren't they supposed to be tilled back into the soil? Or is there a happy medium you can
I think
strike?
there's a happy medium.
Okay.
If the vetch is this tall, give me half of it.
You're thinking outside the box. I love it. You're looking for other. How do you define cut flowers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have rocks and logs that somebody asked me they wanted a forest scene. So I went and got rocks and logs and moss, and that is defined as cut flowers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. I started to ask you earlier, and we might have gotten cut off, so I'm going to ask you again. Your personal journey.
Yeah.
You talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you study in college, and like, how did you get here?
Yeah. I studied history at NYU. If any young person today asks me what they should study, I'll say don't go to a private institution and study history.
Yay, liberal arts. My story too.
I got out of college just being like, what am I supposed to do? And so I went straight into corporate America. I worked in publishing. I was doing very well in my career. I was fast tracking. But then, you know, I was 23, I was 24. I was starting to figure out how to cook for myself, you know, and I started figuring out what organic food was, what a genetically modified organism was. And I became a little bit appalled about what corporate America was doing because I was in advertising. So we were basically telling children to eat this food that wasn't good for them.
Like highly processed. or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Yeah. And so I just was like, I can't be this person. I can't be the person that sells you But at the same time, I was learning what organic food was, so I had joined a food co-op. So I quit my job and I became an urban farmer. So I started working at Brooklyn Grange, and that was one of the most magical times of my life, where I would like ride my bike at 6 a.m., get up onto the rooftop. It would be misty and quiet, and this beautiful farm with this skyline.
I've been there. Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Amazing.
And then I bopped around to for a few years, different growing situations. So I grew at an educational garden for slow food. I grew at Roberta's, which is a restaurant.
Oh, yeah. I love that place.
And then I became a manager of the Bushwick Food Co-op. And that is when it really solidified in my mind that agriculture was where I wanted to be. I love farms. I love nature. I think farmers are, I mean, the term is salt of the earth, right? Like farmers are just they're magical.
Yeah.
They grow this phenomenal food out of the land, and we are so lucky to be able to partake in it. It's really something special that just touches me very deeply. So I started working at Grow NYC, and I was the operations manager at the Union Square Green Market. So that then really introduced me to the structure of getting this agriculture into New York City.
Right. Like that, several of those jobs, you were operational and logistics.
Right, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I got to talk to everyone from like Zaid at Norwich Meadows, who runs this huge operation, to Ahmed at Amoon Farm that just runs this like very sweet, tiny operation, and understand how all of them get their product into the city, how they get it to their customers, the influence that they have on their customers. So the pandemic pushed me to rethink what I wanted to be doing. And that whole time, I forgot to mention, while I was urban farming, I also started my own gardens, growing flowers, and I started a CSA. So I was just growing my own flowers and then just selling them to like people that wanted to like buy little bouquets every week.
Like a small pea patch kind of thing?
I had 5 different spaces around Bushwick.
Wow.
2 of them were community gardens. One was a senior housing unit that let me put beds in their parking lot in exchange for monthly flower design classes. And one was the backyard of a nonprofit, that was my biggest space. It was a really big garden. It is now a parking lot for Amazon.
Oh, wow.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Literally, paradise was paved over.
That happened recently somewhere else too.
So sad. So fast forward to the pandemic, and I just decided I want to fully be in flowers. So I started freelancing, and I started my own studio at that time. And so I did that for 3 or 4 years, and that's how we got here. It's complicated.
I so appreciate it, because there is a lot of romance in flowers.
Yeah.
The emotions that you just described about loving farmers and loving the kind of how they feed us. But this is a business, and you're not a charity, and you've got to sustain yourself and the people you do business with.
Yeah.
And I admired that so much. And the fact that you're only in year 2 is freaking amazing.
It's exciting. I really
love it.
It's really fun. I'm going to take this winter, and I'm going to analyze our sales data, because we have had maybe close to 1,000 people shopping here this past year, and we've had extraordinary sales numbers. So I want to analyze that data and share it with everybody. What sold the most? What could we have sold more of that there wasn't enough of? And what did I go to waste? And the waste is interesting too, because it could also be timely. Chocolate Cosmos, I could not sell a chocolate Cosmo in the spring. We had them available. They were going bad almost every week. This fall, I can't keep them stocked.
Yes.
They're sold before they even walk in the door.
It's the cyclical, design-driven decision that people are making.
Yeah.
I've heard that from farmers who say the green-centered sunflowers you can sell in spring, you can't sell a brown-centered one at all until fall.
Exactly.
So as you interpret that data, then you can kind of create some advisories for people.
That's what we're going to do.
And are you able to do crop planning a little bit, where you can say, I definitely want your whole field or something like that?
I'm not ready to make those commitments.
It could happen in the future.
I think
Yeah.
in the future
Yeah.
it would be really good. Those commitments right now I'm not ready to do. But
no,
yeah.
I mean that's a huge. Maybe that's not even a good example, unless there's something really special and unusual that you just know you can sell it all.
Yeah.
But
even then, could I sell, like, chocolate cosmos are really popular. Could I sell 100 bunches of chocolate cosmos? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am also, the waste worries me.
Yeah.
How much, like, what waste we go through. Because it is expensive to waste the flowers. These flowers aren't cheap. And then I also have to pay it for compost on top of
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
they're like double the cost. Almost. I had 2 weeks of I could not keep enough dahlias in this cooler. It didn't matter how many I had, they were going to sell. So on the third week, I went a little crazy and I bought like $8,000 worth of dahlias. I bought way too many dahlias. And all of a sudden,
based on that history.
based on that history, but then all of a sudden, nobody wanted those dahlias anymore. So here I am stuck with my largest order of dahlias, and demand is not as large as it was for those 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean, but this is what we learn.
Right.
This is what we learn. So, I tried to sell them for the week, and then when the week came up, when I got my new shipment, I did a big dahlia sale, and you know what I did? I said, buy 4, get 1 free, which is that a great deal? I don't know how great of a deal it is.
No, it's like a 25% boost of inventory or of product for what you're spending.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Really?
I can't tell you how many people came in the door. That was a crazy day,
That was
wasn't it?
really smart. I mean, you
It was-
moved the product.
We moved the product, and then it went to buy one get one. Once it got to a certain point, and I think I had maybe 10 bunches out of that whole thing that I wasn't able to sell. But then we make arrangements with it, and
yeah.
we give it to people who are good customers, or
I appreciate your honesty on
Yeah.
that, because I think
Yeah.
that's part of your winter analysis. It's like when was that? And what was happening with weddings that period of time, or
yeah.
or the climate that you can't predict.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, what else do you want to talk about before we wrap up? I've got a few more questions for you, but I don't want to miss something that you want to share with people.
Yeah. A few things that have been really on my mind that are my future goals, future plans. One is understanding trends. How do flower trends happen? Why do they happen? When do they happen? How long do they last? I am in a desperate search to figure out who started green amaranth, the green tassel amaranth trend. Somebody recently told me they think, I think it was Chloe Sevigny or some actress had it in her bridal bouquet.
Okay.
And maybe that was, so I'm very interested to see how that works, because I want us to start controlling those trends. I want the farmers to have a say in those trends, because when the farmers go and plant oodles and oodles of Gomfrina, and I can't move Gomfrina. Gomfrina has a low value,
Relatively.
They're not going to, they'll pay the price for the dahlia. They just don't want to pay the price for the Gomfrina.
Yeah.
So how do we inform how to plant better?
Yeah.
And so, but then how do we start those trends? And so I think one thing is the Northeast, I just recently found out, does not have a flower breeding program. So you've got Cornell and everybody out here breeding fruit and vegetables, but nobody's breeding flowers. And I think that's a problem.
I think there's really rare situations of the microbreeder, like Jigbee, whose product you sell. But she's a one-person operation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that Cassie's doing it, and I love that the individual farms are doing it, but these aren't true stable breeds. Like we need
the genetics are different.
Yes, we need a stable genetic, and that takes 5 to 7 years and research to do. And so I think what would be amazing is some sort of collaboration with Cornell, with some designers, with some farmers, where we decide in the future what we want to push to be our trends. We invest in photo shoots, we invest in media, and we start that ourselves.
I love it. Yeah.
I think a lot of the trends right now are coming out of LA and South Korea, where they have these budgets for these stylized photo shoots, and they're doing a lot of them. I don't see a lot of that coming out of New York City. And I said to somebody that's because we're working. Like
Right. And the farmers are putting so much sweat equity into their work. The florists they're not going to Rio on vacation from the money they're making.
Not at all.
Everyone's an artist, and if you had a research partner or a development partner, that would be so exciting.
Yeah. That's one of my goals.
Get me involved in that. I love that.
Great. Good. Yeah. Because just like nobody was eating kale before Dan Barber told them to eat kale, I want us to have that power. I want floral designers to be the experts in their field, just like chefs are the expert in their field.
Yeah.
Because if that trust doesn't exist, then the client is going to keep asking for the same thing, instead of trusting that designer and that farmer that they're going to deliver the best product. When we do small floral design here, all the client is allowed to tell me is palette and vibes. I have to pick all the flowers. I don't let them choose a flower.
Is that through your old studio or through Flower Aggregate now?
It's through Flower Aggregate. We're really set up for very last minute requests.
Like elopements or small events?
Yeah. Or, we just did something last week for a brand where they were like, we hadn't been planning on flowers, but we just got the set and it doesn't look pretty and we need to enhance it. And can you do this in 3 days?
I love
it's like, well, yes, because I have the material and the supply.
Yeah.
But for the longer planning, more involved weddings, we're not going to be involved in that. I am more than happy to recommend floral designers for those kind of things.
Certainly are a source for that.
Yeah.
I love your idea of being the leader and not the follower. And I think that it is happening, but in a very kind of casual or coincidental way.
Right.
When, as you said, some celebrity happens to use a flower, and then all of a sudden, like whatever Taylor Swift has in her wedding, it's going to be, we can just imagine, something that everyone will want. And is it what the growers want to grow and what the designers want to design with? Maybe not. So I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you just a general philosophy question about what you're hearing from flower farmers and florists especially about how are customers asking for local flowers, or are they, or what is the zeitgeist of like, I feel like I live in a bubble and I only know people like you and people in this room. And so sometimes I'm shocked when I realize that a large percentage of the world isn't thinking the way I do. So, but give me a reality check.
You're correct. They are not thinking that way. 80% of the flowers that are used in New York City are international flowers.
Wow.
20% are domestic. And when I say domestic, I mean California.
Yeah.
And how do I know that? I did a lot of research. When we decided to open Flower Aggregate last year, I just did a lot of research of what is the state of the floral industry in general. There's scientific papers out there that have studied it. It is a $37 billion global industry, so people are looking into it.
Yes.
And then I saw quite a few numbers of what New York City is, because I think it's a hard number to measure, but I was seeing between $600 and $900 million a year in cut flowers in New York City.
Wow.
80% of that is international. That's also why I'm here. I want that money. I want the farmers to have that money. I want the floral designers to have that money. Like, we need to rein it in.
Yeah.
That's and brilliant. Increase the local stuff. So that those numbers tell me there is a market for us.
It also is so important to remember that farmers aren't competing with themselves, with each other. They're competing with the international product.
They are.
It's a completely different product, as you said.
Yeah.
And the consumer when given a choice, based on my research, over 65% would choose local or domestic if they had a choice.
I think that choice comes with an asterisk because it's what do they want?
Yeah.
If they want, let's say, like right now, everybody's asking me for burgundy or plum dahlias, and I just don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push them to, I have strawflower, I have celosia, I have chrysanthemums.
You have beautiful plum product, but you have gorgeous dahlias. They're just different colors.
They're just different colors,
right.
Because the burgundy and plum are so popular right now. So they will go to whatever Holland or South America is producing, and they will get that burgundy dahlia. They don't care.
Right.
They want the flower.
Yeah.
Maybe that is just a characteristic of New York City because people are very specific in their aesthetic. We're talking about brands, advertising, people with a lot of money doing dinner parties,
Yeah.
having a certain look.
Event producers.
Set design. So I think we are very much up against, in New York at least, it's aesthetic first. That is the most important thing to everybody. And maybe this is also social media and the internet that has caused this. And then I think it's secondary is I get a lot of people in here apologizing to me that they have to go buy the bad pesticide flowers and
combine them with your good flowers.
Yeah, combine them with it, and they're like, oh, I have to go buy the rest from 28th Street. And what I say to them is, I was like, look, you have to feed your family. Like, you feed your family however you want to feed your family. Like, I'm never going to judge you for that. But can we work together that next time, like maybe this time it's 20%. Next time, could we do 30%, 35%? You know, so we're working. And then,
I love that. That's brilliant. And also helping empower these designers to know there are times when they can sell differently and sell on aesthetic and not on palette.
Right. And that is also what we offer. I feel like I'm coaching a lot of designers that just come and sit in the lounge about how to speak to clients, about how to express to them the benefits of these flowers, the freshness of the flowers. And I think more and more designers start experiencing how good it is and how they start getting feedback from their clients that they've never gotten before.
It empowers them.
It empowers them. And they're going to start, wanting this product more. I just see this snowballing because the product is so good. It's good.
You're speaking my language. I love it. I wish you the best. We will follow your story.
Oh, thank you, Deborah.
People, of course, will watch this and hear this who aren't in New York, but everyone comes to New York at some point.
Yeah. But it's also, I think there's maybe 40 cooperative collectives across the country right now. I think that's what I saw in my research. Which means that I think this can be replicated over and over and over.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed this
Deborah.
so much. Aww. 2 times in 1 year to come visit.
It's so nice having you here.
I love it. I wish you a great transition into
winter.
Dormant season. But you've got a plan, I know.
Yeah, we have a plan. Bulbs are coming. We're going to take January off because I need a break.
And you've got all these homework assignments you've created.
I've got all these homework assignments, which Eliza has reminded me if I don't start now, the winter's going to go by really fast.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you very much. I've loved being here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome back anytime.
Okay. And thank you, Kitty.
Yeah, Aster.
Oh my gosh. Nisha will just crack up.